While it might be a new year, new you, crypto is on its same old BS, with AAVE fighting in and of amongst itself in a fight that is worthy of a high school musical. But more on that in a second. Welcome to Crypto Currents, the weekly podcast of people actually working in crypto and blockchain, talking about everything that you need to know in crypto and blockchain. No shilling, no FOMO, just everything you need to know to get better at crypto. Think of us like some illegal fireworks. We're exciting, we're there for a little bit, and we'll always see you again in the next week or year, whenever you want to set off illegal fireworks. I'm your host, Vince, and today I'm joined by our resident degen, Kale,
What's up?
and Marcus from the Mew team.
Hey, what's up?
So starting off, Happy New Year, everyone. You made it through another year of crypto. Hopefully you tax loss
Made it,
harvested
dude.
before the end of 2025. We're recording this a couple of days early, but this will be coming out on January 1st, so that's always exciting. But we'll talk about the AAVE drama here in a second. Let's kick things off with stuff that's really fun and interesting. Pudgy Penguins and, of course, the Vegas Sphere. Marcus, what are your thoughts on the Pudgy Penguins and kind of like how they're, I guess, leading the charge as far as like NFT adoption into modern mainstream media and advertising? What are your thoughts on this?
Honestly, I think it's kind of cool because like they were able to get it off chain, like they kind of brought real value to their NFTs, compared to like, what is it, like Bored Ape Yacht Club, where they tried to do something similar, but it like completely failed. But I think like the way Pudgy's doing it, because I think they have what is it, like a CEO that specializes in toys or something like that. So like I could see how that like was able to really get them into like that normie market,
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. The
Do
CEO
you-
is like consumer product based or something.
Oh yeah, and it definitely shows with the plushies and all the
Yeah.
collabs.
100%.
It's funny, when we were at ETH Denver this last year, Marcus, I don't know if you recall, we were at that cafe and there was just Pudgy Penguin stickers on that cafe, and the cafe people had no idea what they were. Like it was just a
Yeah.
permanent installment of these Pudgy Penguin
That was like
stickers.
that's what really stuck out to me. I was like, oh yeah, they are they made it.
They made it. But the question is, like, okay, with the Vegas Sphere, what are your, I want to know both your thoughts on the Vegas Sphere, but do you think that this like activation did anything to bring the conversation to crypto, to NFTs, to any of this, or is it just like neat and all the insiders are like, that's neat?
I think it's more about the insiders, yeah. If anything, they're probably just gonna sell more plushies at the end of the day, not NFTs.
That is
That's what I'm
true.
thinking.
Gail, talk to me about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like bigger for the insiders for sure. But I kind of like shared this take a few episodes ago, last time Pudgy Penguins came up. But I do think that all of these little things that they're doing, like PR moves, like working with Walmart, working with McDonald's, now they're on the Vegas Sphere, like those things in a silo, like by themselves, they're not doing anything. But over time, the more and more like random public people who know nothing about crypto see the Pudgy Penguins, like every single time adds up. And so there will be a point in time where I believe at least that like, it's like, I don't know the right word, but it's like a breaking point. It's like, okay, now everybody knows like Pudgy Penguins are like super popular IP and the kids love them. Everybody wants a Pudgy Penguin. And at that point, like the kids probably aren't going to know that Pudgy Penguins have anything to do with crypto, which in my opinion is fine, because Pudgy Penguins doesn't need to be like super open or transparent about like the crypto origins, so to speak.
Right.
Like if they're doing well selling plushies, then let them so be it, because in my opinion, it's like all eyes, or the more eyes, the better.
Yeah.
So yeah, like this doesn't move the market by itself, but I am a fan.
No, it's definitely fun to see it kind of on the main stage, I guess, main stage in air quotes, because I have a lot of opinions about the Vegas Sphere, and you both work in marketing. Like, what are your thoughts on the Vegas Sphere? Is it effective? Is it stupid? Like, if I gave you a $250,000 budget, would you blow it on a one-day activation on the Sphere?
Oh no, hell no.
What are your guys' thoughts?
No,
I think I might.
No, hell no.
Marcus
Dude.
is like, absolutely.
If I
Yeah,
had
no,
a chance.
it's really cool. But yeah, I think like 2K marketing budget can be spent way, way wiser. If anything, this is kind of indicative of like how much money they have to like just throw around. Because yeah, no, this like when you think about it in those terms, it's like, yeah, no. they probably could have spent the marketing money in like a so much more efficient way. But yeah, I mean, it is really cool to see. And like the crypto specific lore behind the sphere anyway is like super funny for crypto natives because like it's like the whole thing that like a few years ago, what is it called? Dog with hat.
Dog with hat.
Yeah, they were like supposed to
Yeah.
be on the sphere and everyone was like hyping it up and then it never happened. So now that's like kind of like a part of crypto lore. Like, remember the Vegas sphere? But yeah, now Pudgy Penguins actually pulled it off. So it is like, it's funny. It's cool to see.
And so,
Yeah.
Marcus, you would blow your budget on the sphere? You think it'd be worth it for the memes alone?
Yeah, just for the memes alone, and also just, it'd be pretty cool to like try out to see how that works, like how the whole sphere works.
Yeah. Have either of you seen the sphere in real life?
Not IRL.
No, not yet.
It's
I've
interesting.
never even been to Vegas.
Really? Well, you
I
should
know,
go.
dude. I need to
Vegas
go.
is fun. I do wonder, as silly as it is, but is a billboard in Times Square more effective than the sphere? Ostensibly they're kind of the same thing, but just kind of a different format. And I wonder, is there going to be an association of this brand with Vegas, with degeneracy? But maybe not. I mean, I guess we see Stranger Things advertising on the sphere, like everyone's advertising on it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
As far as like
But also,
Times Square versus the sphere, it like obviously comes down to pricing. But yeah, it's like, it's a good question. I wonder which one would bring better returns.
I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
the Times Square is like saturated with like a bunch of advertisements already, so
True.
it's like yours won't really stick out too much,
This is true.
At
We've
least in my
actually
opinion.
we've actually been on the Times Square screen before. MyEtherWallet has.
Oh, really? When?
Yeah, as when we went to NFT NYC,
Oh,
Kozala was speaking. They they had him and they had Mew just up on the billboard. It was pretty cool.
that's
But
super.
to your point, Marcus, there's just so much there that it's a lot of
Yeah.
noise. But what I think is also funny, like I heard about the sphere, but it never entered my zeitgeist as far as the Pudgy Penguins. Like I didn't see it on my crypto Twitter. I didn't hear about it till Kale, you brought it to my attention.
Mm.
Um, but instead I see the Marty Supreme activation and the Stranger Things activation on the sphere. So I wonder if part of it's the sphere and like the general marketing zeitgeist being like, yeah, that's some crypto thing over there. It's not real.
That's a great point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I'm sure the Sphere has their whole own marketing department as well,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. They're for sure
And
pushing Stranger Things harder than they're pushing Pudgy Penguins.
absolutely, because at
Understandably.
least they can point to an ROI, right?
Yeah.
Stranger Things is going to be the most watched thing on Netflix, where Pudgy Penguins is just aura farming. So I
Yeah.
don't know. But I think it's always interesting to see these big moments. And I'm just waiting for the moment where Pudgy Penguins turns back to trying to funnel people into crypto. And I'm going to be intrigued to see how that kind of works.
Yeah, me too.
So moving off of marketing, let's talk about AI. Fans of the show know that I have a lot of strong opinions about AI, as does everyone on the show. But Visa, just put out a big report about they have a new AI shopping tool that helped, customers with hundreds of transactions. And I kind of want to zoom out and be like, look at kind of AI in finance, AI in shopping, and that kind of thing. And Marcus, what are your thoughts about AI, first of all, and then AI being used in finance, whether it's crypto, TradFi, or just buying stuff on Amazon?
Well, I have like a love-hate relationship with AI. Like I love it for the tools,
Mhm.
but like the data aggregation and all that stuff, I'm not a big fan of. If they're gonna start using AI with transactions, so it's like all my transaction history is gonna be available for like the LLM to learn off of now, or
Mhm.
like that's my main concern. So it's just like I don't know if this is a good idea, but at the same time, I don't know.
Because
Automating.
the LLM is going to be like, this guy took 100 transactions to lose $5. That's crazy.
Yeah,
LLM's gonna start sending you memes like, haha, look at all your finance mistakes. Dude, yeah,
buy high, sell low.
I don't even have my bills on auto pay. Like I
Mhm.
manually pay my bills every month. So it's like, yeah, I do not want AI automatically just like putting things in my shopping cart, like because it thinks that I should need it or what. Like, I don't know exactly what the process is, but it sounds like a bad idea in my opinion too. Because yeah, like what is it even for? Recurring purchases?
This specific one is just like general transactions. I kind of, but I like where your head's at, talking about like in just kind of the normal consumer facing shopping, but also to Marcus's point, trading. Would you let agentic AI trade crypto for you?
I
Because people
would.
talk about that all the time.
I would, under like very specific circumstances. You know, like I wouldn't give an AI agent access to like my main wallet, but I would
Mhm.
like create a separate wallet for an AI agent to like go and mess around with and see what it can do, for sure.
And so, do you think,
Yeah.
I guess, how, well, Marcus, answer the question first. Would you allow for agentic trading of your assets?
Um, yeah, exactly like how Kale said it. Would set it up like just a specific wallet for that, and then
Mhm.
see how it works. And if it does well, then maybe, you know,
Scale it
slowly
up.
increase it. Yeah, scale it up. But
Interesting.
wouldn't trust it completely right out the gate.
See, for me, I always wonder like where these are getting like if it's going to be whether it's buying stuff on Amazon or, doing any sort of like trading with agentic AI is where is it getting that data set that is like, ah, yes, this is the thing Vince wants to do. Because like traditional advertising is horrendous, right? You buy a toilet seat on Amazon and then all of a sudden every ad you see is like, "Do you want a toilet seat?" And it's like,
You
"No,
need toilet paper?
I'm not a toilet seat fan. Like I just bought one and now I'm done." Same thing with mattresses. You buy one mattress, you see nothing but mattress advertising for forever. And I just struggle with the idea of like agentic AI being able to accurately like predict what I want to shop. Or I also just don't even trust like AI overviews of reviews on Amazon. I'm like, no, I
Yeah,
want to read
ditto.
where's the human that says something like this is
Yeah.
crazy. And like with agentic trading, I know Kale, we've talked about how you believe in chart reading. As one that does not, I'm like, well, is it just going to be trading off these charts? And if so, it should be batting 1,000 if this is real. So like
Mhm.
what data is it using to do any sort of trades? And then if everything is agentic trading, then everything should just kind of cancel out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, true. Because if everything's agentic trading, it's like it's not going to go all up because they're going to be like counteracting each other.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
just going to be arbing off each other. But Marcus, are you a chart boy? Do you sit there and read charts like they're tea leaves?
Yeah, I used to be like I used to take that as like prophecy. You gotta like look for the charts and stuff, especially
Mhm.
on the 15-minute candles. Like I used to be super degen with it.
And did it work out well?
Yeah, it worked out decent during
Okay, so
college. Like, yeah,
sometimes. Okay,
yeah.
that's
You
fair.
win some, you lose some, but yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of losing some, let's talk about this flow hack and rollback. Kale, walk me through kind of what happened.
Um, so like I don't know what the initial reasoning was, but basically a few days ago. So we're recording this December 30th. I think this happened on the 26th or 27th.
Mhm.
Flow Chain announced that I think they got hacked or something along those
There was a
lines.
security breach. Yeah.
Yeah, so like there was a security breach and they ended up having to roll back the chain, or they were at least discussing it. And for those who are the uninitiated, basically what a chain rollback is when a blockchain, the devs or the validators, whoever like controls the chain, basically they all agree to say, we're rolling the chain back to like a specific or certain time. So everything that happened after that time, we're canceling
Doesn't
it.
count. Yeah.
Yeah. We're just going back to the past and we're running it again. And so obviously like that introduces like a lot of problems. For example, like if the guy who breached Flow, say he bridged $100 million, this is like just made up numbers, but like
Yeah.
say he bridged $100 million off of Flow and then Flow rolls the chain back. It's like he has this 100 million that he bridged off and he has the 100 million that was there like because of the rollback. And then the opposite is true too. If somebody bridged onto Flow, like say they bridge K onto Flow, Flow does their rollback. Now it's like he doesn't have his 100K on Flow chain or the chain that it came from. So it creates a whole mess. And of course, people like created a backlash on socials. And not even like 48 hours later, Flow was like, okay, guys, we won't do it. We're not going to roll the
Sorry,
chain back.
sorry.
Yeah. So what they're doing instead is they have a recovery plan which avoids a chain reorganization and is somehow gonna like target the fraudulent actors. I'm not exactly
Mhm.
how. Like they probably are gonna blacklist wallets or something along those lines. But yeah, that's the gist of it. Flow tried to roll back the chain, and everyone was like, "Nope." I was like, "Okay." But like, my question is, who is depositing any money onto Flow in
Mhm.
December of 2025? Like, what's going on Flow?
I mean, that is a good question. Like, I do feel we've seen such a, like, fragmentation of the broader crypto market, of just people trying to find the next chain that is the next great thing, but then we keep seeing things like this happen, and then it, like, really removes confidence in the chain, confidence in, like, a lot of the teams that are heralding that chain itself,
Mm-hmm.
and it just kind of becomes a little bit prohibitive, I think, of people trying to get into crypto, and it just kind of becomes like, quote unquote, insider trading of people that are already in crypto being like, well, I guess I'll go over here to mess around and like make a few percent and then get out, so hopefully before it implodes. But I think it's, it's one of the dangers of decentralization and the ability to roll back chains, right?
Yeah.
That I think is kind of like, for me, what makes this interesting. And I like that they acquiesced to the broader sentiment of like, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the damage might already be done.
I totally
Yeah.
agree because like the fact that one, they have the power to do that in the first place is scary. And
Yeah.
two, the fact that they were flexing that power is like a huge red flag. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think that even though they didn't follow through with rollback, like a lot of trust is gone and it's gonna take a lot to build that back.
Yeah. What about you, Marcus? What are your thoughts on this?
Basically like the same thing. It kind of reminds me of like when Ethereum, when the DAO got hacked and they wanted
Mhm.
to roll back, and then there was just the whole backlash, but they still went on with the rollback,
Were
and
you
now we
actually
got.
were you actually there, or are you just talking about the history books that you've read on Ethereum?
Well, I think I was mining crypto back then, but
Okay.
I'm not too sure. I got like probably like a little portion of ETC out of it, but it was nothing major. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's kind of like that in my opinion. But I just I respect that they stayed with the current
Mhm.
transaction. Like didn't go for the rollback because, like how Kale said, that would just cause so much more trouble than anything else. And on top of that, they already bridged the tokens, I think, into the Bitcoin network. So I'm not sure how,
The attackers
they're
did,
gonna,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
attackers,
yeah.
yeah. So I have no idea how they're gonna really recover back from that.
Yeah, and I think, of course, your mention of the ETC hack and fork then, of course, is kind of like the most famous example of this.
Yeah.
And I do think it's one of those things where it was out of necessity back in the day, and I don't
Mhm.
think in today's climate of crypto that can happen
A
and
hundred
continue to
Yeah.
percent.
be successful,
'Cause
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
there was no bridging back then. It was just Ethereum.
yeah,
If that
you
were to
know,
happen today, like people would be so mad, dude.
uh, it would be
Totally different story.
yeah, it would be horrendous, and I think it's kind of like a cautionary tale for new chains that, like, you gotta be prepared to approach this in a way that benefits the users without, rugging everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's tough to do because like of course they want to look out for themselves as like a corporate entity, but
Yeah,
it's like you have to keep the customers happy too. So it's like somebody's gonna be mad somewhere, either a C-suite or a customer.
yeah. Well,
Mhm.
speaking of people getting mad, let's talk about AAVE, where we started this. So there's a bunch of, like, interesting stuff going on with using tokens to influence a DAO vote, which was a failed DAO vote. I just have a lot of general questions, because this has always been interesting to me. I think DAOs are ridiculous. And I kind of wanted to hear from you guys. And for those of the uninitiated, DAO is, decentralized autonomous organization, which is basically running a company without running a company. But what are your guys' thoughts on DAOs and kind of this specific drama? Like, what's your take on this? And what does that mean for broader crypto projects? Gail, kick us off.
So DAOs in general, I'm normally not a fan because I tend to agree with you. DAOs are like very disorganized. They like don't really get things done normally because it's normally it's just like a bunch of guys that are like, yeah, down with the system. Like sometimes DAOs work, and I mean it's rare, but I do think that it's like it can work. And so Aave, what happened here is basically if you use Aave, like it's a dApp built by the DAO, not by like the corporate execution, because like everything that Aave has available was like implemented because of DAO votes and whatnot. And a lot of people like leave Aave Labs, the employees leave Aave Labs, and then they still work on Aave independently, like as a part of
Mhm.
the DAO. So like in that case, like if people are passionate about what they're doing and they feel like it can actually change the world and they're motivated to work on it, like in that case, DAOs can work, but it's rare.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, anyway, like Aave specifically, fast forward to 2025, they've been building for like almost 10 years. Aave Labs, they switched the front end swap from Paraswap to CowSwap. And now all the fees that used to go to the DAO are being routed into Aave Labs wallet, which is like $10 million a year.
Mhm.
Mm. And the Aave Labs is basically saying like the front end revenue is not protocol revenue, and everything that we shared with the DAO in the past was voluntary. Figure it out, DAO. And yeah, like things started escalating. Proposals started appearing from the DAO. Of course, the DAO starts like making proposals to vote. Like, okay, let's seize the IP, let's seize the brand, let's claw back all the past revenue. Aave token dropped like 20%. And then, yeah, like you zoom out, and the bigger question, the bigger thing that's happening here is like, it's not about like really revenue and like all the little details. It's who controls the protocol. Like
Yep.
is it the DAO? Is it the brand? And they both have good points. The DAO is saying like, we run the engine, so we should control the front end and the swap. And Aave Labs is saying like, no, like private companies need to build too, and you can't govern everything to death. So yeah, everything is unfolding still, but that's like the gist, the TLDR of the Aave DAO drama. And like I said, dude, like DAOs can get messy and very disorganized, but something about the Aave DAO, like I have faith in them. It's because I don't know why, but they've been building for like 10 years already. They have a
Mhm.
solid product. So yeah, in this case, I like DAOs, but
Okay.
normally I don't.
Yeah.
Interesting. Marcus, talk to me about DAOs and this specific drama.
With Aave, their DAO, I actually side with their DAO in this case.
Okay,
But I
interesting.
do
I feel like I'm the
understand.
corporate scumbag that's like,
I
yeah,
do.
corporate.
I
Well,
do understand where
screw
like the
these
brand is coming
nerds.
from. But like the DAO did build like the whole engine and everything. And I
Mhm.
love Aave, I'm a user of it. So it's like that's why I side with the DAO. They did great stuff. And then I feel like they should have consulted them at least before swapping out, like let them know this change is coming.
That
Like,
that too. I think like that pissed off a bunch of people. Aave Labs just changed everything. No DAO vote, no discussion, nothing.
yeah. And then trying to influence another vote, like by buying $15 million worth of like Aave tokens just to
Mhm.
try, but it failed. Like that's another thing that's not really raising a lot of trust. But then again, DAOs are always like whoever has the more money has more voting power. It's kind of like
Yeah, it's a
not
sticky
fair.
situation for sure.
Yeah.
So me as the corporate scumbag is like, this is like once again where crypto hasn't learned from what traditional finance has kind of figured out, right? DAO voters are probably just shareholders. Like if we're talking about like a publicly traded stock. Yeah, they can vote and have power, but it is very defined. Whereas the corporation's like, yeah, we're gonna do what we're gonna do at the end of the day. And maybe if you're like one of your shareholders has a gazillion shares, they're actually on the board. But at the end of the day, if we're gonna change the Facebook logo, we're gonna change it to Meta, which is exactly what they did. And like it's funny whenever I see like a DAO kind of like freak out about something that a corporation does, it just reminds me of like you both are quite young, but when people would like put up stupid Facebook statuses that would be against like the change in the timeline, where it's like I don't consent to the change in the timeline, roll it back. I am a user, I'm providing value to this. It was like a copy paste thing where it's like Mark Zuckerberg, blah. And I'm like, this
Mhm.
is the same thing. Like, it's crazy to me. The company needs to do what is kind of like best for everything. And I think in order to function and move forward, it kind of just has to take that power away.
Yeah, like unfortunately, like my gut kind of tells me that you're right, because like as much as I love DAOs, it's like it's the utopian like idealist in me, because it's like in a perfect world, it's like, yeah, that would be really cool if there wasn't like one guy controlling everything and it's like we all get a say and it's fair and blah 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 blah. But it's like in practice, like this always happens, like
Yeah.
DAOs can't organize, and normally like you need some type of structure, like a corporate structure, to like really lead effectively, at least. So it's like, yeah, dude, I don't know, like I really want DAOs to win, I want DAOs to figure it out. But yeah, I think like you might be right, dude. Like there needs to be some sort of structure where it's like the DAO holders are like shareholders.
Yeah. And I think, I am always one that is like very pro collaboration and getting work done. But at the end of the day, there needs to be some sort of org structure there because otherwise you're doing it by committee. And I always like the old joke that a camel is a horse designed by committee, where it's like, oh, it should look like this, and then it should also look like this. And then it just ends up being this like thing that might work, but is also very different from the vision.
And it's like only works in like a very, very unique circumstance.
Also true. Very true. So then, quick question to round it out. Do either of you participate in any DAOs?
No.
Have you in the past? Yeah. Me neither.
Yeah,
I
no.
don't think I have, no.
And like that too is pretty telling, because it's like people like Marcus and I, we can feel however we feel about DAOs, but it's like when you look at the real world and consumer behavior, like who's actually participating in DAOs? It's
Yeah.
like probably it's a small percentage of people.
And especially with like, it's a vote, right? And we can't even get
Yeah.
Americans
That
to show up
too.
to vote for politicians. Like, oh, I'm going to go vote for a protocol. Like,
That
hard
too. It's
pass.
like you have to pay attention. There's a lot of things you have to stay on track
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Especially when they get very technical.
Say that again, Marcus.
Oh, I was saying like when the proposals get very technical too, and it's like
You gotta start
I feel
studying a
like
bunch of stuff.
yeah, I feel like bureaucracy 2.0 over here.
For
Yeah.
real.
No, exactly. But it's not bureaucracy 2.0, this podcast, because it's fun and we're engaging and we help you rather than hinder you. And with that, I bring it to a close. Thank you, dear listener, for tuning into the podcast. Make sure you leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts. Follow on YouTube, follow on Apple Podcasts, follow on Spotify. Thank you both for joining me here today. And you, dear listener, we'll see you in the next episode next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.